startup company Sinavac in Berhad. My name is Mohd Effendy, a professor in veterinary immunopathology from UMT. Pneumonic Mannheimiosis is the devastating respiratory disease of sheep and goats triggered by stress conditions such as pregnancy, introduction of new herds, transportation, or climate change. The market uses an injection approach to stimulate the systemic immune system, but was found not effective in reducing pneumonia in sheep and goats. This was reported by VRI in 1991, Massey University Epicenter, New Zealand, 2005, and UPM in 2006. From 15 years of scientific research, we can confirm that by inducing the lymphoid tissues of the mucosal membrane in the nostril, the animal's body will produce both mucosal and systemic immunity, thus providing better protection to the animals against the disease. Administration using spray vaccination method is more effective than injection. Most products in market use a systemic approach through the injection method. The pathogen must first damage the lungs and enters the animal's body before the systemic immunity develops. So we use the mucosal immune system approach and spraying method. By spraying the vaccine onto the mucosal membrane in the nose, we induce mucosal immunity in the lung to prevent the colonization of bacteria in the lungs by producing the secretion of immunoglobulin A. These lymphoid tissues contains lymphocytes, which later develop into memory cells in the serum antibodies and double protect the animals in case the bacteria invade the lungs. Secondly, imported vaccine contains different strains from the local pathogen and usually will not cross-protect the animals from domestic infections. So we isolated the pathogen from cases of Mannheimiosis and developed the vaccine from the seeds. In Malaysia, the most isolated is Mannheimia hemolytica A2, followed by A7 and A9. From our study, A7 can cross-protect the infection from A2 and A9, so we don't need a cocktail vaccine. By switching to the intranasal spray vaccine, we can overcome the problem of painful vaccination to the animals, reduce the incidence of temporary lameness injuries from using blunt needles, no extra cost for syringes and needles, no restraining needed, and even a woman can vaccinate the animals intranasally without proper training needed. From the total numbers of sheep and goats in our country, I think you already know that the local market is not the prime target for this vaccine. But still, we need to work with the big four like Mardi, Felda, FECRA, and DBS, as well as SMEs to gain their confidence first. But before we can promote this product to the foreign market, our marketing officer had a discussion with Sudan, Libya, and Saudi Arabia markets. If this country does not require further clinical trial, we will enter this market first. We just created a startup company named Sinavac and Berhad as our vehicle. So Sina Seragama, the parent company, will become our sole distributor and network Sinavac to the local and international potential customer. Our company, Sinavac, will manufacture the vaccine with Malaysian Vaccine Pharmaceuticals or MVP Sdn Berhad for the first few batches, since they have a GMP facilities. When we gain confidence from the domestic market, we will establish our GMP facility for the overseas market. Workers in Ubay Farm have testified that the intranasal spray vaccine is easy to deliver and the mortality rate at their farm has greatly reduced since we started the vaccination program at their farm 6 months ago. The document on the left is a testimony from Mardi, acknowledged that we have conducted trials on 2,000 animals at 3 farms in Kluang, Perak, and Pahang from 1997 to 2001, concluded that the vaccine was effective in controlling pneumonia in their animals. The document on the right is certificate of free sales issued by the Department of Veterinary Services when we registered the product a few years ago. This is the document of the patent granted on 15 September 2014 for our vaccine product. This video shows how we conduct the vaccination in Ubay Farm. In 1 minute, we can vaccinate 5 to 6 animals. We finish vaccinating 200 animals in 40 minutes. By injection, we will need at least 3 hours if we can vaccinate 1 animal in 1 minute. So this is the workers doing the intranasal spray to their animals. So we are pitching for 6.35 million ringgit funding, actually to cross the valley of death. The money is needed for field trials of 40,000 animals or 30% from the populations to gain more reliable data required by the foreign market. The cost for 1 dose is 15 ringgit and this will cost about 1.35 million ringgit. And we will collect serum samples from 13,500 animals, or 30% of vaccinated animals, to analyze serum antibody response by ELISA method. Serum has quoted 3,500 ringgit per 20 samples. So we will need about 2,362,500 ringgit. We also need 600,000 ringgit to pay 600 ringgit to 1,000 volunteers for vaccination and serum collection twice. We need budget about 587,500 ringgit for other deliverables. And finally, we will need 1.35 million ringgit to insure 45,000 animals in this program. Our startup company has paid up capitals about 100,000 ringgit for consumables and emolument for research officers for daily operation. So altogether, we will need about 6.35 million to cross the valley of death before we can access 2.2 billion heads of animal in the market. This is our projection only. We don't want to seem very ambitious. If we could successfully secure 6.35 million ringgit for the clinical trials, the target market consists of 2.2 billion heads of goats or sheep heads worldwide. So we intend to secure only 1% from the vaccine market segment to offer spray vaccine as an alternative. So 1% times 2.2 billion on the existing market, we will have about 22 million heads of animals. So one dose costs about 15 ringgit, and 22 million heads times 15 ringgit times 2 doses per animals, you will gain 660 million ringgit Malaysia. Our ask is only 0.9%. That is 6,350,000 ringgit to enable us to cross the valley of death, to secure 1% of world goat and sheep populations, to secure 660 million ringgit. Please note that every year, 10% of new animals will enter the market. So this will make the business sustainable. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.